This is Voicemail, the Universal Postal Union's podcast covering the wonderful world of mail. I'm your host, Ian Kerr. In this episode, I'm joined by Tariq Al Wahedi. He's the Group Chief Executive of 7X. We'll be talking about the transformation of postal services in the UAE and the 28th Universal Postal Congress being hosted in Dubai this coming September. Joining me on the line is Tariq Al Wahedi. He's the Group Chief Executive Officer at 7X. Tariq, welcome to the UPU Voicemail podcast. We're going to talk about the 28th Universal Postal Congress later, but let's start off with a few more personal questions and questions about leadership and your own professional experience and things like that. Let's start off with the question that we ask all of our guests on the UPU Voicemail podcast. What's your first memory of the post?
Well, Ian, thank you so much for having me here today. It's quite an honor to be part of your podcast, and I'm happy to reach out to all our guests that we're welcoming all of them soon, within a month, hopefully, in Dubai. So going back to your question, my first memory was receiving stamps, actually, from my father when I was a child. And that immediately, the first time I saw them, I thought they were stickers. I just stuck them everywhere. And since then, that sparked some passion. I became a collector during my teen days. But to be honest, I was always mesmerized. I mean, with how these little stickers could send letters across the world. And that eventually just created that influence in my leadership today. I mean, in a way that never lose sight of magic in connecting people and businesses. You know, I mean, little things can make connect whether letters or complex logistics, basically.
Now, we mentioned at the outset that you're the Group CEO of 7X. So tell us a little bit about 7X. How would you describe 7X to someone who still thinks of 7X just as being the UAE postal company?
Thank you. It's a very good question that we are asked all the time about. Well, you can see it from the new identity that we have launched last year. And again, 7X is not just, it's coming from the 7 Emirates, but it's a promise of global motion. It starts from our 7 core engines of commerce, which is express, freight, postal, quick commerce, fintech, logitech, and fulfillment. These 7 core engines of commerce that we use are what takes us from the 7 Emirates across the 7 seas to all 7 continents. And X is the critical part, which is the multiplier. I mean, the magic that combines all these engines in one integrated solution. So think of 7X as the promise using our 7 powers to create seamless commerce from the UAE to the entire world, basically.
And let's talk a little bit about your own professional history now. Tariq, you've led ventures and entities in agri-food tech and private equity, CEP and logistics, and now you're at the helm of 7X. So how do these earlier chapters guide the way you run such a multifaceted group?
Well, if you see, the silver lining connecting all my past ventures is the deep focus on logistics and supply chain. My experience was in highly demanding sectors like that has no room for error, to be honest. I mean, like the oil and gas, for example. I mean, the huge projects of oil and gas and the big movements on there. All the way to the fresh and perishable goods, which really doesn't take any errors or any delays for a milk, for example, milk delivery. This made my 7X role very natural, to be honest. It gave me a wide scope of what is needed to master logistics and tune our solutions precisely to customer needs.
If you look into the future then, if you're looking, say, down the track to the next 5 years, what are some of the headline priorities that you've set for you and the leadership team to chase?
So our priorities are 3 pillars, for the next coming 5 years. One is the domestic innovation. And that we are pushing very hard. We are very laser focused now on the quick commerce, which is emerging in UAE and the region in a big way. That is pushing the 10 to 15 minutes delivery windows now, and the target to keep UAE at the cutting edge of last mile innovation, basically. Internationally, we are going very aggressive now, increasing the trade and volume that flows through the UAE, positioning 7X as a central hub for the global commerce. Now, we need to top all of that by putting 7X or positioning 7X as a technology leadership. Underpinning everything and is our goal to be seen as a global logitech leader. And that means mastering the AI, data analytics, automation, and the power of next generation logistics.
You mentioned earlier that you've worked in industries where there's very little margin for error and the pressure can be very high. So is there a principle that you hold on to when things are moving fast and the pressure is high? Is there something that helps you stay grounded as a leader?
I make it very simple, and that is I always focus on what moves the needle. I consciously cut through the clutter and bureaucracy and try to focus always on bottom lines and things that moves the decision. I always also am a firm believer that I should be avoiding analysis paralysis, and I keep training my team towards that. It's always best, to make a decision, to make a decisive, well-informed choice and adapt that solution than just wait for that perfect solution. So we need to move very fast, always.
Now, the 28th Universal Postal Congress will be held in Dubai in September. What does hosting the Congress in Dubai mean for the UAE's broader agenda on trade and digital connectivity?
Well, it's a powerful affirmation of the UAE's historic role to bridge between East and West. From the Silk Road to today. We are a high-tech corridor, basically. It showcases our national belief for the 2030 UAE vision as well, for the advancement of logistics and digital finance. We are affirming that position. And it's about also leadership and stewardship as well. The world really entrusting us to guide the UPU next 4 cycle is really very powerful. And it's our objective to foster that collaborative agenda for a more connected and efficient future.
Now, as you alluded to earlier, the postal world is changing rapidly. There's surges in e-commerce, new technologies, climate targets, and so on. From the UAE's vantage point, where do you see the main challenges that the Congress needs to address to be in step with today's realities?
The fundamental challenge, to be honest, from my perspective, and I was voicing this, to all our partners, into the postal network, is the pace of adaptation. The postal world today has been outpaced by digital commerce. We are not fast enough. And this creates 3 critical gaps that we need to address. Okay, one is the digital gap, and that is the lack of unified digital backbone among all of us, all the postal operators. The second one is the operational gap. Today, cross-border bottlenecks really hurt SMEs. We need agile customs. We need data sharing. We need better last mile options. And that's all efficiency, basically. And the last one is really environmental gap that we see. We need to embrace our responsibility to make climate accountability, and we make it a core KPI for us, to have this responsibility for the environment. So all these 3 gaps that we are identifying is really what's making the postal network lagging behind from where the whole commerce business is happening today.
So looking towards Congress then, successful Congress outcomes hinge on commitments from member states. Which 2 or 3 decisions would you most like to see emerge from plenary sessions this year?
So I'm looking for 3 landmark decisions, to be honest. I'm hoping that we will be able to achieve an agreement for a global postal intelligence grid. And that is a commitment for an AI-driven open source system so all members can synchronize their transformation, basically. So the second one, a plan for climate resilience, a decisive action on green fleets, eco-packaging, and a path for carbon neutral operation. The third one, I'm hoping that we will be able to achieve also a framework for postal fintech integrations. So a formal plan to integrate financial tools like credit and digital payments into the postal network to empower small businesses, which we are lagging a lot, to be honest. Compared to the current e-commerce businesses that are happening there.
When people meet face-to-face in the Congress, there's a great opportunity for networking. So networking outside of the formal agenda can often spark these breakthrough partnerships. So what kind of collaboration do you hope delegates will explore while at Congress?
So I'm really excited about three types of collaborations that we will be achieving during this Congress. One is that we will have a regional tech hubs, and that is to be able to co-create future-ready delivery technology between the regulator, startups, and postal operators. This is very exciting for us to meet under one roof and having that dialogue together. The second thing I'm hoping to achieve also, is having possibility for green logistics testing, multilateral partnerships that might happen to test the scale solutions like electric fleet, for example, or sustainable packaging. This is very exciting to share knowledge, into this space, which is emerging for all of us, most of us, I would say. And then finally, new bilateral agreements, us coming under one roof, will facilitate forging concrete one-to-one partnerships and strengthen that kind of relationship as well.
The UAE is known for plugging public ambition into private sector know-how. And you've touched on that a little bit just now in some of your answers. Is there one partnership you'd point out that sums up the spirit you hope delegates will explore?
Yes, indeed. We are very proud of our evolving partnership with Amazon UA, actually, which is a perfect example of this. And actually, we are hosting a session with Amazon leadership also during the UPU. It started with the operations, but then deepened the strategic collaboration to get into dark store deployment, using our hyperlocal nodes as micro-fulfillment hubs. And now it's growing further by getting into the 2025 policy hack with UICCA for the environment and electrifying last mile as well. All of that partnership is happening with Amazon in multi fronts, basically. So we're quite proud of it, to be honest.
So finally, as a closing reflection, what do you hope Congress attendees leave with?
I would say the sense of momentum. This is very, very important. Okay. The belief that postal systems are not legacy infrastructures, but vital platforms for e-commerce, digital finance, and climate action. This is very important that we leave the Congress with that kind of thinking. The conviction that we are also all collective as well is very important, that we are leading the change and creating the future is very, very important for the global economy.
There's much to look forward to then this year at the 28th Universal Postal Congress being held in Dubai this September. We're looking forward to, hopefully, as you've outlined there, Tariq, some good outcomes for the global postal sector and for all the businesses and citizens that we serve. Tariq Al Wahedi, 7X's Group Chief Executive Officer, thank you very much for joining us on the UPU Voicemail podcast today.
Thank you very much, and I look forward to hosting you next month over here.
You've been listening to Voicemail, the official podcast of the Universal Postal Union. Subscribe to the podcast on your favourite podcast platform and you'll get each episode downloaded to the device of your choosing as it's released. My thanks to the team at the UPU for their help putting together this episode. I'm your host, Ian Kerr, and I look forward to your company next time on Voicemail, the podcast of the UPU.